All rise for the jury.
You're going to go back to the beginning. Back. Sorry for the delay. Did the jury follow the admonition during the break?
Yes.
We think we have resolved the audio problem, although it's still, everybody can be seated. Thank you. It's still very low volume, so let us know if you can't hear what's being said or are having difficulties.
Okay. And again, this is the video from June 21st, the Crimes Against Children's Unit.
Yes.
So you understand my concern with the story, right? Yes. I mean, I don't think that what you told to take a man out of the school is probably the truth of the video. Because Cassie said she doesn't remember if you stayed outside that night.
John does.
No, not that either.
Because he was passed out on the couch.
So now we work through what the truth really is, okay? Like I said, you're done talking to me. We're going to walk out right now, but so we kind of need the truth. And there's a lot of other things I want to talk to you about. So let's kind of go through this part at first. Tell me the truth about that night.
We were on the back porch. It was me, him, Dad and Amanda stayed on that porch the whole night, evidently, because we were on the back porch and he told me he was going to take a shower and calm down for the night. So I went to Cassie's. I planned on, I didn't know if I was going to sleep down there or sleep down at Amanda's, but I got comfortable down at Cassie's. We were all watching a movie and falling asleep. Never once talked about killing anybody, and I never heard my dad talking about killing anybody. And my dad liked Trey, and so did I.
So you had a chance to think about, honestly, I mean, my life was pretty good about your dad was in prison. You got in that. You got a situation.
I mean, I love my dad more than anybody in this world, and I'd rather be with him than anybody in this world. My life was much better with my dad.
So your life was better getting arrested in Alabama?
Being with my dad, it's all worth it.
Right. So you would rather not be in a secure home, having a secure friend,
My dad,
having a family, having a your friend, now he gets out of jail, or he gets out of prison, and then quit your job, you go to jail, trains murder, I mean, all that's better, that's better than you?
of course not. I said being with my dad is better than being anywhere else. Your job, I'd be doing the same thing, and I understand why you're doing it, but I had nothing to do with it, and I'm pretty sure my dad doesn't either. My dad was with Amanda. She stated that the whole night. Why would she try to change it? Is she trying to change that now?
Well, I'm not going to tell you who changed what or
During this time, was Gallagher in custody in Alabama?
Yes.
How did Young come to be back in Louisville?
I believe Child Protective Services flew down there and picked him up and brought him back.
After this interview, what did you do? And, well, why was this interview at Crimes Against Children?
Well, I just picked that place as more child-friendly. There's less things going on as opposed to headquarters where there's multiple units in there. This is the Crimes Against Children's Unit. I just picked this location to do the interview.
Okay. What did you on his movement?
After, at some point on that, on the 20, I'm trying to get my dates correct because there's so many dates I've got to deal with. On the 22nd of June is when I received some information during another interview I was conducting that Detective Adams in Alabama wanted to speak to me, wanted me to call him. So I called him. He said that Mr. Gowker had some information he wanted to pass along to me. We got on the phone. We got Mr. Gowker on the phone. He said he had information he wanted to pass along. He wanted to do that in person. He didn't want to do that over the phone. He asked me to come to Alabama. I told him I needed something more than just him saying he wanted to pass information along to take that drive down to Alabama. At some point, that's when he said, somehow it came up. I was asking about the information, and it came up where he said it was his son involved, something to that effect. The call ended. Myself and Detective Stalvey met with, I believe, the lieutenant of the homicide unit and the acting major at the time. Made plans to go to Alabama and drove straight directly to Alabama after getting our travel arrangements somewhat in order.
And when you got to Alabama, what happened?
Alabama, myself and Detective Stalvey interviewed Mr. Gowker for, I don't know the exact time. It was maybe an hour or two. At some point, a break in the interview was taken so he could go out and smoke, and also for me to make a phone call to the Commonwealth, one of the assistant Commonwealth attorneys.
And why were you calling one of the colleagues?
Mr. Gowker said he had information, additional information he wanted to pass along, but did not want anybody else to be in trouble. And he was kind of specific to only that information was related to basically the tampering with the evidence. Of course, we want that information. We didn't necessarily want to get it the way we got it, but the decision was made. We would call the assistant Commonwealth attorney. Normally, we would talk to Tom Vander Rothstein, who was at the time the homicide liaison from the Commonwealth attorney's office. I could not get him on the phone. I called the second liaison person, which was Ryan Conroy. I explained to her, I kind of gave her a quick background of the case we were working. There was information that a witness wanted to produce another witness who possibly had tampered with evidence. We, of course, wanted that information because at the time we don't know what the information is other than they were a party to tampering with the evidence. So we don't know if they were going to say, hey, it's all rolled up in a nice tight bundle at my cousin's house in the garage, or we had no idea where it was at. So we wanted that information, of course. Reluctantly, her and I made the decision. Ultimately, it's her decision not to charge. She agreed that the information that we would get, this person, they had to be specific to only tampering, nothing else. Only the drive, basically. They didn't do anything else other than a potential portion of the tampering.
Does that mean if you had gotten information that this person was involved in the murder,
then all agreements would be off?
did you transmit that agreement to Gowker?
Yes.
And then did he give you that?
Yes.
At that time, did you all make the further phone calls that we have heard in this trial?
Yes.
What did you do after this conversation in Alabama?
With everybody?
Yes.
We got right back in the car, drove directly back to Louisville. Hadn't eaten in forever, so we stopped just at a McDonald's on Preston Highway close to Cassie's house because we knew just from a little bit of the information she had given us on the phone, I wanted to confer with her and kind of shore up her answer because obviously she originally said when he asked, or when the question came up, who did this, and she was kind of like unsure and soft-spoken and kind of said, you did. And then she's like, she said it twice, you did, and then she's like, I don't know. And then went on to tell us the version you all have heard, which was the defendant being involved. So the first stop that I wanted to do was go directly back to her and speak to her. So we quickly went to McDonald's, went to 1360 Vim Drive, assuming she would be home. She was not. I made a phone call, left a message, and she called me directly back within a few minutes.
Did you all have a conversation on that during that phone call?
Cassie and I? Yes.
Did you make plans with her for Detective Wilder to come by with?
Well, at the time we didn't know. I'd been up for I think 36 hours probably, so I didn't know if it would be myself or who. So I don't know if I specifically said Detective Wilder, but I told her somebody would, myself or someone, would come back tonight.
What did you do after that?
After the interview with Cassie that morning, and I had her retell me, or however you want to say it, her version of what happened that night. Myself and Detective Stabby drove directly to the home of Innocence where Mr. Young was living, and he was placed under arrest.
What was his reaction to being placed under arrest?
When I told him his charges, I just said, "You're under arrest for the murder of Troy Zwicker," and his answer was, "Yeah."
I'm going to show you the red markers 128 and 131.
Okay.
Do you recognize these photos?
Yes, ma'am.
What are they?
Those were photographs taken after the interview. The defendant, Mr. Young.
Any objection? Introduced. Just a moment here.
That's my computer.
Okay.
And is that a photo of the defendant as he appeared that day?
Yes.
Is that, what kind of photos do you all take?
Actually, I had, of course, interviewed him, and that's all the things he was wearing, but I had just left, I think, just when the interview was over, because, of course, I'd been up for a day and a half, and the crime scene technicians and Detective Lesher, I believe, actually did the actual photos. I was probably just walking out right about when these were being taken. So they're just basically just stand-up photos of who they were, the persons were interviewing at the time of the arrest.
Okay. When you brought him in to homicide that day, did you interview him?
Yes.
And was that recorded?
Yes.
Sorry, Judge, we go back to my computer. And just to confirm, was the date June 23rd?
Yes, the interview started at about 9:34 in the morning, and at 9:47 I read him his Miranda rights.
You're playing this on your own external speakers.
Yes. No, this is supposed to be the computer, because this one should not have the volume.
Okay.
Is it set up to do that?
Maybe.
Ready?
Is it playing? Yeah.
I talked to you the other day, and I was asking you about seeing in your statement things like that about being weird in the house, looking at the trees, probably trying to see if Annabelle talking to you, or not being there. And I think you're still not sure the whole aspect of exactly where you were at.
Will you push pause a minute? There's one other thing I can do. That is to try and turn up my master volume. If they haven't blocked the cabinet. They've locked the cabinet. They won't let me in, so I can't do that. Right.
So I want to give you an opportunity, really the last opportunity, to tell me what really happened. Because I talked to your dad, I talked to Cassie, I talked to John,